What's up guys, Bucky again, and welcome to another awesome tutorial in R. In this video I want to teach you guys about data frames. Now, data frames are actually one of the most important and one of the most widely used reasons to even start using this R language. Basically, what a data frame is a spreadsheet. They have rows and columns, and actually each column can be a different vector. So you don't need to have a data frame all of numbers. You can have, numbers, characters, text, a whole bunch of stuff. So actually, for this example and for this tutorial, what I did is I made three vectors so you can follow along. So if you go to this, and I'll put a link below in the description, but it's buckysroom.org/forum, topic ID is 661, then just go ahead and grab all of this data and copy it and then paste it right in your RStudio right here. So what this is basically three, let me minimize that, it's confusing me. Three individual vectors. You have ID, and I don't know, maybe this is like a database for a company or something. So you have their ID numbers 1 through 15, 15 different ages, which some of these are like 3, so I doubt any 3-year-old's going to be working for a company. But then you have their names as well. So you have three individual but equal length vectors. One of them, or actually two of them, are numerical, and one of them is character or text. So how do we turn this into a spreadsheet or a data frame? Well, it's actually really easy. The first thing you want to do is you want to give your data frame a variable name. I'm just going to name mine X. Now, just go ahead and do that arrow because we're going to pretty much make a data frame and then assign it to the variable X. And to actually create this data frame, type data.frame, and as parameters, inside those parentheses, you give it the vectors that you want to include in your data frame. So of course, we want to include the vectors ID, age, and name. And now if we just go ahead and print X, check it out. Whenever X prints, it says that this right here is our data frame, and as you can see, it looks just like a spreadsheet in Microsoft Excel. And actually, the cool thing is, what we can do is, if we have a spreadsheet in Microsoft Excel, we can import it in R and turn it right into a data frame that we can do cool, different functions on, cool calculations. I'm going to be showing you guys that later, but for now, this is how you create a data frame. So as you can see, it has rows, columns, pretty freaking sweet. Now another thing that you guys are going to want to do, let me just go ahead and clear my console and go back up here. Another thing that we can do is sometimes we're going to want to check to see the number of rows and columns, because remember, whenever we printed that out, this one only has 15 rows, but some data frames are going to have tons of rows and tons of columns, more than we can count manually. So what we're going to want to do is, in order to calculate the number of rows, type nrow, and if you throw this in there, it's going to return the number of rows. So our data frame has 15 rows, and also the number of columns in our data frame, let's see what that is 3. Of course, ID, age, and name, each vector is a different column. So another cool thing I probably should teach you real quick is, if you want to do this both at the same time, actually let me just clear this and print all of this out. If you want to do it all at the same time, then you can use the function dim, and what this does is it returns the number of rows and the number of columns as well. Pretty freaking sweet. So, alright, since I got a few more minutes, I'll teach you a couple other things before we get into like the real, confusing or hard stuff in data frames. So let me go ahead and delete this right here, clear my console. And the next thing I want to mention is, sometimes you're just going to want to return the name of a certain column. So what you can do there is type names function, and the first thing you need to input is, what do you want to get the names of? Well, a column in our data frame, which is X. Now after, of course, you say, okay, we want a column, but what column? Well, let's just go ahead and get the name of the second column, which is age. So I press 2, and basically what you're telling R is, give me the name of a column in our data frame. Which column? The second one. So print that out, and that's why it gives you age. Pretty freaking sweet. And, alright, I got a few more minutes. So the last thing I can teach you guys is this. So, whenever we print this out, okay, so we have 15 rows and 3 columns. Not that bad to see on this little console down here. But sometimes, again, with really big pieces of information, or maybe if you're importing a database from a website, you're going to have a ton of crap, maybe like 10,000 rows. So it's sometimes useful to just see the very top or just the very bottom few rows. So what we can do in that case is use the head function. Now whenever we do this, we say just show us the head or the first few rows of this data frame. And we run it, and it shows us only the first 6 rows. It just helps, if you have too much information, just show you a little bit of it. And also, the opposite of that is tail. Sometimes you only want to see, maybe it's the most recent entries in your database, so you can run that, and it shows you the last 6 pieces of information. So again, if you have a lot of data and you don't need to see it all, maybe you only need to see the beginning or the end to verify something, you can use head or tail to see a little piece of your, well, spreadsheet basically. So that is your intro to data frame. And guys, we're going to be using data frames a ton, pretty much to import data, do some awesome calculations to it, and we can do stuff like make graphs and charts. It's going to be freaking sweet. So thank you guys for watching, and don't forget to grab this on my forum so I don't have to type all this crap out. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.